I'm going to take Kansas State money line against Iowa State. Oh, well, hello there. I'm just placing my bets like my name's John Mateer. I mean, come on. I mean, how in the world do you find a Venmo of John Mateer, the new Oklahoma quarterback, that says gambling USC versus UCLA the day after the game is legitimately played, and then he places the bet and pays the bet literally within 24 hours after it? Does anybody not find that suspicious? I mean, am I the only person on planet Earth that finds it suspicious that John Mateer, the Oklahoma quarterback, has a Venmo that says USC versus UCLA the day after what looked like he's repaying a gambling debt? Maybe it's just me. But my quarterback could never do that. No, just my wide receiver. Ask Keyshawn Boutte. Nevertheless, we are live. Everyone do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups. If you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages, you're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. I mean, in all actuality, all jokes aside, I don't know if the dude's placing bets. Maybe it's a joke. I don't know. It's a horrible joke to make, kind of like my opening joke was to start off the show. But nevertheless, you cannot convince me that John Mateer wasn't gambling. I mean, you just can't convince me that he wasn't gambling. Now, I personally, I do not care if somebody, even sports athletes, gamble on a game that has nothing to do with them. I think it's the dumbest thing ever, right? Like, I think it's the absolute dumbest thing ever to to hit somebody for gambling when they're betting on a game that has nothing remotely to do with them. So even if this John Mateer thing is true, which I'm going to be honest, I do think's got some truth to it, but we just get to a place in a situation where if it's not involving him, what do we care? But I understand that there's rules and regulations, and if you let one thing slide, then all hell may break loose. Well, that's basically what happened when NIL was enacted. What's this going to do? But I do find it very, very suspicious. Nevertheless, we're live. We got lots that we need to talk to. M18 on YouTube says, favorite and most trusted LSU source by far. Keep up the great work. But thank you so much. Yes, these practice reports have been absolutely killer for us. We are currently trending. Not only, and you could just go look this up on YouTube yourself. So if you think I'm lying, I'm not lying. The YouTube shows the practice reports are absolutely killing it to our counterparts. That's because of you guys. It has nothing to do with me. The only thing that's got to do with me is I tell you what happens. I come in here and I give my opinions. And I think that you trust us because I think our track record's pretty good. In that, we were at practice today, day 11 for the LSU Tigers. We will break all of that down. There was a shorter practice. We got to see O-line versus D-line and pass pro. We got to see some walkthroughs that meant absolutely nothing. And then we got to see 11 on 11, which tonight's going to be a massive talking point. We'll also go through observations and opinions. Guys, I got 10, and I might go on a long-ass rant here tonight. We might be in here for an hour and a half, if not a little bit longer, because I got a lot I need to talk about, a lot that we need to discuss, and conversations that you and I quite honestly just need to have. Why would we do it any less? But nevertheless, we're going to do that. So not a lot of topics, but we were at practice today. We are off the next couple of days. We don't have access tomorrow. They do not have practice on Thursday, I would assume. That we are out there on Friday, assuming, and I think Saturday they're doing a nighttime scrimmage, I think. BK brought it up in the press conference a couple of days ago, and if they allow us in there, it is going to be otherworldly, and I'm ready for it. I don't know why you wouldn't give us a scrimmage, and give us all the practices, and I hope that we're in there. Nevertheless, Tech Phenom says, good evening to everyone. Good evening to you, sir. Where is everybody watching watching from tonight? Where is everybody watching from tonight? Kevin Dunn with a repost on Twitter. Thank you so much for doing so. We greatly appreciate that. Hyper Ninja on YouTube says, hey, Blake, do you think Caleb Jackson has stepped up as the number 2 or Harlan Berry? I don't think either one of them has definitively broken out yet. I don't think either one of them have. So they're going to still battle it out, and I think both of them, depending on what they're doing, will rotate behind Caden Durham. Make defense great again on YouTube says, because you've been killing these practice reports. Yeah, it has been great. I mean, we are, I was going to say this. We are trending at the current moment, knock on wood, but we are trending at the moment to do our biggest numbers of my career. If this continues, we will surpass by far the 1.5 million live views and listens in a month. It'll be absolutely insane. It will shatter our other record, and thankfully now we got a great sponsor in FanDuel that's backing us. Speaking of sports gambling, and shout out to our good friends over at FanDuel. So yes, by the way, speaking of shout out to Texas Tech. Did you see that they put your boy in their hype video? By the way, got to show the Red Raiders some love. I put the Texas Red Raiders in my playoff bracket. Let's go, Red Raiders. But yes, you guys, it has nothing to do with me, and it really and truthfully, it doesn't. I just tell you, I humbly, I try to come out here and give you everything from what's inside, meaning from my heart. What do I feel? I try not to hold back. There's some things we got to hold back on because you got to. But nevertheless, we're getting very, very, very close to doing that. It might be our biggest live month of ever. We did hit in 2023, we hit like 1.1 million, but right now it's trending to 1.5. But every day it's been ticking up more. Every day it's been ticking up more. So even after tonight, might be doing that. Everybody on the audio podcast, you're killing. You're absolutely killing. I can come out here and say, good evening, everyone. Good night, everyone. And that thing's going to get 20,000 listens. It's absolutely insane. So thank you all for doing that. The 512 is in the building. Good to have Kedrick in here with us. Tech Phenom is in the 804 Richmond, Virginia stand-up. I don't know why YouTube did this, but the 702 is representing. I don't know who that is. Covington, Tennessee. By the way, of the 901 is Chris Lomax. Chris is always on the social media forums. So I always see Chris in there. Good to have you in here with us. Cap Sports Talk 55 says this is the most defensive reports most defensive reports in 3 years. We have to dominate on that side of the ball. It has been by far not remotely close. It has been the best defensive camp performance. Let's not say season performance. We haven't even played a game yet. By far, it's been the best camp for the defense without a question. This coming off of dominating spring without Harold Perkins, without Whit Weeks, for what it's worth. They dominated here in the spring too. So, they've dominated pretty much everything. I thought yesterday, for what it's worth, they kind of got housed a little. Garrett Nussmeier was on another planet, and that's going to happen when you face elite, really good quarterbacks. So today it did not go that way. Garrett made an unreal throw, but other than that, outside of 11 on 11, they couldn't do anything. Defense has been standing firm. We'll get into that. Dr. John Sibley Butler, Franktown in the building, the 985V, the 512, greatest hunting place in America. How about that? Y'all need to bring me to that. Anybody that goes duck hunting needs to bring me too. Dan Cox on YouTube says 702 Vegas is in the building. Yeah, Dan, I was wondering. We had more Vegas listeners than we've ever had in our past. How about that? Gotta love it. Absolutely gotta love it. H-Town Creole says, Blake, what's cracking? AYS fam, salute. Good to have you in here with us, H-Town Creole. Dan also says, Blake, what's play calling look like based off of the Shizite we saw last year? A lot of the same offensively. Not good. Not great. Today was not great at all, I should say. Not great at all. Alexander Taylor says the best Brian Kelly teams when he was at Notre Dame was defense and time of possession. It's been the opposite this year. Well, those teams could run the football. And I'm starting to really question if you can, really. I hope that you can. And listen, guys, I hope that I am massively wrong. I hope that this is just camp stuff and you're trying to figure some stuff out. And I hope Caden Durham goes out there, who we'll talk a lot about Caden Durham tonight. And I hope that Caden Durham, who had roughly maybe a little bit more than 1,000 yards in total offense a season ago with 8 touchdowns, he needs to go for probably 1,500 total, to be real with you, for us to be successful, in my humble opinion. So we'll see. All right. Let's get rolling here. Any super chats? No, there are no super chats that are in here. You can send those in. If you do send those in, we will get to all of those as well. Got questions, thoughts, concerns? Don't want those things to be missed. You can send in the super chat or just join in the membership. By the way, the video was posted at 6 a.m. this morning. If you want to see these breakdowns and observations and videos well before your counterparts, just become a member on YouTube. We appreciate our partners over at YouTube for allowing us to do that. All right. Let's get moving here. We got lots and lots to discuss. We don't have a lot of time to do it. And quite honestly, I got a lot of points that I need to get to today in today's practice report, which thought we would go out there and have a really good back and forth day, which we'll get into here today. All right. Let's talk about our good friends over at Section 103, where their apparel is more comfortable than those club seats that you're sitting in. Guys, a limited time offer. It is the last month that you can go over to Section 103 and use that promo code AYS. That's promo code AYS. When you go to their website and get and look and purchase that apparel, you'll get 10% off of that order. You need to go there now. Guys went to the gym today, was wearing one of their shirts, wearing one of their hats. I am telling you, when I am not on this show, the gear that I am running to the most is from our good friends over at Section 103. I think the shirts fit phenomenally. I think the hats are dope and are very comfortable. Go get yours today. Again, section103.com. Go to the LSU section and get 10% off of your order today. Also, our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media and Service Hawk Digital Marketing. With the right lead, smart systems, and real growth, you need to get a marketing system that works for you today. Are you an HVAC? Are you an electrical pro? You're a generator pro? Do you run a business? Do you own a business? You know, if you are in any 5 of those categories, that marketing is a key thing in reaching new clientele. You need to get a marketing system that works for you. Nobody in South Louisiana, even in Northern Louisiana, is better to equip your needs than Service Hawk Digital Marketing. Guys, the reason they are the number 1 marketing team inside the state of Louisiana, it's not even me just saying that because we're in an ad read. It's because they keep winning awards all over the place. The reason being is because they are in the best in the business. I have been in social media for a while now, and I am telling you, with the thoughts and the access and the things that guys like Lee and Justin do are absolutely phenomenal. Service Hawk Digital Marketing, where they soar above the competition. When you fill out that questionnaire, let them know Blake sent you on by. If you're in sales, you need some leads, get over to our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Marketing today. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to break down practice from today, day 11. LSU was back out there in full pads, going to the ground. Full live, full at it, 1s versus 2s. How did it play out? We'll get into all that, and then we'll get into observations and opinions. During the break, hit that like and share because, well, we're off and running. Stay with us. Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check him out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. We're back. Let's get to it here. I do see a lot of you still trickling in, telling us where you are listening from tonight. Yes, you need to go and tell us where you're listening from tonight. But our good buddy Black Ice, a.k.a. Big Pressure, in the building, says, I'm about to go check out Section 103. You need to go check out Section 103 because I am telling you, Pressure, by far, dude, I wear their shirts everywhere. I wear their hats everywhere. I mean, other than just me wearing this AYS trucker hat that was sent to us by a good listener of the show, I would be wearing it on here. Regardless of all of that, I'm telling you, man, they have some of the best apparel that is out there, and you need to go get it today. Also, I'm going to make a little statement before we get rolling in this practice report. There are a couple of things that I want to mention here before we talk about practice in day 11. We are partnered with our good friends over at FanDuel, which all of you know. Garrett Nussmeier is plus 900 to win the Heisman Trophy. And a couple of seasons ago, I came out here when Jane Daniels was in 2023, when the odds on FanDuel were plus 4,000. And I came out here on this here show about 10 days in, and I said to myself, am I going to go full Jane Daniels mode here? And am I going to tell the great people that listen to AYS that I'm going to sprinkle $100 plus 4,000 for Jane Daniels to win the Heisman? See, the difference was with Jaden, and a little bit difference that now is that you did have Malik, you did have Brian Thomas. They were absolutely going cookie during fall camp. Defense was bad, so maybe that's why they went a little cookie, but built their confidence. Regardless of that, Jane Daniels went off. I will tell you, if Garrett Nussmeier continues to do some of the things that he has done the last couple of days, I don't think it's a bad I don't think it's a bad idea to just venture your own self. Now, if you have a gambling problem, go over there, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or go over to www.fanduel.com/RG if you have a problem. If you don't, and you want to sprinkle a couple of little $5, $10, $15 on it, I don't think it would be bad. I think Garrett has matured. I think he's done some really good things. Can his O-line and run game help him enough for him to be able to do some of the things that I think that he could do this season? But always sponsored by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go check them out here today. The number one sports book in the United States. All right. Day 11 of LSU practice was underway, and we were out there for the ending part of practice today. Now, normally we do get the whole ones, and they're going through drills, maybe 1-11 on 11. That's 4, 5, 6 plays. Then they go through some more drill work and some walkthroughs, and then we finally get into the meat and potatoes of the practice. Well, today it was just the meat and potatoes. Once you walked out that door, all that you had was, hey, we're going through one walkthrough, then we're going in 7-on-7, O-line versus D-line, and then we're going 11 versus 11. So as soon as we got out to there today, even though the practice report is not going to be as long maybe as it has been in the past, what I would say is very simple. Today was nothing but meat and potatoes football when it comes to your team, offense versus defense, getting after it. When we got out there, the offensive line versus defensive line. And they were going up 1v1s in pass pro. Did not pay attention to the second team. Went and watched the first team take reps in 7-on-7 after the first team was done taking reps in pass pro. It was really the first day when they were on the opposite field that I could sit there and watch these reps and how things were looking. And because of how practice is structured, if you walk over to the other field and you watch pass pro, then you have to walk all the way back and you're going to miss a lot of 11-on-11 that's following that. Today, we were in a situation where they were positioned in a place where we could see both. Now, 7-on-7 was a little bit slow to start, so we got through 3 reps of the first team, really 4 reps of the first team before they even threw their first pass. But the first team of offensive line, defensive line, and pass pro were as ordered. Tyree Adams versus Nebraska transfer Jamari Butler, who tried to dip and rip twice on Tyree Adams, which he was having none of it. I think Tyree, for what it's worth, has had a decent camp. I don't think that we've called his name out a lot because, quite honestly, there hasn't been a lot that Tyree Adams has done to warrant to say, oh, well, Tyree Adams is getting beat there. Do I think that he needs to gain some experience in some of the things that Patrick Payton has done to him in the last couple of days? Yes. Well, what do I mean by that? There have been a couple of quick passes that Nuss has tried to fire the last couple of days that, quite honestly, Patrick Payton has gotten his big paw up and knocked the ball down. Got to learn to swat that hand down, or if he jumps, you got to put him in the dirt and make sure that he never does that again. Now, I understand you don't want to do that to a teammate. I get that. In the game, if TJ Parker jumps up to swat a ball down, he needs to be in the dirt, and you need to put your face mask right under his chin strap and say, don't do that shit again, and take it to their ass. I think Tyree has had a solid camp. There hasn't been many situations where I felt like that he has been exposed, maybe a couple of reps here and there, but Tyree has been pretty solid for you at left tackle. Jamari Butler trying to dip and rip against him twice, and quite honestly, Tyree Adams was having none of it. Don McKinley versus DJ Chester, left guard versus defensive tackle, where Don McKinley won both of those reps. Guys, quite honestly, Don McKinley has stirred some havoc. Now, let's talk about Don McKinley for just a second. I think Dom has not been on these practice reports in reference to, oh, he's making a play here, he's making a play there. I do think that the biggest thing that Don McKinley has done, and in reference to even what Blake Baker mentioned yesterday in his press conference, I think Don McKinley has done a very good job against DJ Chester. And what was plaguing DJ Chester a season ago, 96 has been really being physical with DJ, and just quite honestly today, pushing him back into the quarterback. There were 2 times today in pass pro where all Don McKinley did was get underneath the pads of DJ Chester and bull rush him, and he won. Brian Kelly made it an emphasis in day 1 of fall camp to talk about Don McKinley. Talking about they ran out of weights for him. You got 9,682 weights in there. You didn't run out. And basically saying that, listen, this kid is very strong. If he puts it all together, those are the 5-star traits of when he came in here of what you can see. Because he's been pushing the pocket on Garrett pretty heavy. It's not good to hear from a DJ Chester perspective, because that is something that DJ struggled with a lot this past season when he was at center. But the God's honest truth is that you have to be in a situation where you have to judge both of them. Don McKinley knew the biggest weakness for DJ Chester, and he took hold of it. And 2 bull rushes later, he gets back into the quarterback's lap, and it's over. It's very over. Now, you're not going to know that it's always a passing down, but I do think that if you can get good interior pass rush, and I'm not even talking about getting to the quarterback, because you're going to play a lot of very athletic quarterbacks. But every time that you muddy that pocket and you make them go and do something that they might not want to do, I don't think DJ Lagway really wants to leave the pocket much. Not with a bad calf, not with some of the injuries, a hamstring that he had a season ago. But there are going to be some quarterbacks you will face that, quite honestly, will get outside that pocket, and you got to get some internal pressure on them early and often in games. Don McKinley winning 2 reps against DJ Chester, 2 bull rush moves, getting the quarterback an absolutely dominating feat. Not good to hear about that from Chester, but Don McKinley, again, making a really good play there. Braylon Moore, the center, versus Bernard Gooden, who Bernard Gooden's been all over the camp. But Braylon Moore stood up twice. Very, very good reps by Braylon Moore, not allowing Bernard Gooden to get anywhere. I think of all of 5 offensive linemen starting, because LSU has gone with the same 5 offensive lines since day 1 as they have through day 11. There have been some change-ups here and there. Paul Mabenga has come in at left guard. There were some reps today where Carius Kern did come in at left guard. Now, that's a big thing that we're going to talk about here in just a moment. But they have done some things. When it's got down to the nitty-gritty, they have kept the same 5 offensive linemen in the practice. I remember in 2022 when they were trying to figure out everything that they had. There was a day where Anthony Bradford, 2 straight days where Anthony Bradford was out at right tackle, didn't go well from him, got moved back inside to guard. They, in 2022, when they were trying to figure out everything they had, and Brad Davis was still there, so it's not as if that Brad Davis was doing this. I think BK wanted to see some different combinations. They have run out the same 5 consistent unit. I think of all 5 guys in that unit along the offensive line. As of camp right now, it feels to me that Braylon Moore has been the most consistent. Just not a lot going on in reference to where I'm saying, hey, this guy's lined up at a nose. He's in a one technique where Braylon Moore is getting pushed back. I do think Braylon Moore needs to be more assertive as a center and more assertive to help out his guards that have been struggling. I think the good thing about a good center for me, as someone who loves that position and played the position, I was having this conversation with Matthew Brune today. Matthew works for On3. I feel like that there have been some situations where Braylon Moore can do what we call cleanup. If you ever watch my old offensive line coach used to talk about, if you ever watch Mighty Ducks 3 and they're learning a different system and they're playing defense, clean up the trash. Now, this isn't defense, but you're trying to protect the quarterback. I think Braylon Moore needs to be better at, quote-unquote, cleaning up the trash. What do I mean by that? There have been multiple pass rushes where he has had no one on him. And I think some of that, when he is getting back in his pass set and he is viewing what both interior offensive linemen are doing. Now, I understand that he's got to wait if somebody's coming down the chute that he needs to get to. But he's got to identify quickly of guys that are coming in his general area on a blitz, and he needs to get to one of these defensive tackles and get to one of these guards to help out, especially on the left side. If this is going to be your offensive line, while you're in pass pro, get 61 to one of those guards and help and clear out a pocket for Nuss. If your center goes left or right and starts helping with some of this guard play, I will tell you, DJ Chester did not do much of it at all last year. DJ did not clean up the trash, if you will. I think that there were situations the season ago where DJ, you would see him in pass pro, and he would take the rep off. Where, hey, man, I don't have anyone on me. I'm just going to sit here and pass pro and wait for anybody. No. And I don't know if this is something that Brad Davis teaches. Hell no. What you need to do is, if nobody's coming at you, get to one of these defensive tackles and knock their freaking blocks off. Clean their clocks. Clear out the trash. Because when you do clear out the trash, you have a pocket quarterback that can step up confidently in that pocket and run, or they can step up in that pocket and rifle one downfield. The best center in the modern era for LSU that has done that has been Lloyd Cushenberry. It's not remotely close. I saw a clip come out today, by the way, talking about that 2019 offensive line and Joe Burrow making that offensive line. Bullshit. Bullshit. Lloyd Cushenberry made that offensive line. It ain't remotely close. I think Braylon Moore has been the most consistent along your offensive line. he's got to clear the trash. Because when you have a pocket quarterback and you have a guy that wants to step up and rifle the ball down the field, go knock somebody's fucking block off. You got me? Knock on wood if you're with me. Hashtag John Gruden. But it's the truth. Clean out that trash. I'll give another example. Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat if you watch the Saints preseason game. The first drive with Spencer Rattler, the center, quote unquote, cleaned out the trash. Rattler runs, picks up a first down. It's because his center goes and cleans up the trash and helps out one of the guards. I'm pretty sure it's Trevor Penning. Helps out Trevor Penning and makes a lane for Spencer Rattler to go get some yardage, to step up confidently in that pocket. I think it's something that they need to teach. I think it's something that they need to do. Now, again, even though that is something that I think that Braylon Moore needs to do more of in team periods, I still think that he's been your most consistent because, guys, quite honestly, even in some pass pro situations, I think he's been the best. I think he needs to be a little bit better in run game, but he's been the most consistent for what it's worth. So we'll see. But he did win both reps on Bernard Gooden. Really good. Anchored down, got to the point of attack, mirrored Bernard Gooden left and right, and the reps were over. Really good reps. Very good reps. Last on the offensive line for starters, Jack Pyburn and Weston Davis split. Davis won the first. Just got his hands on Jack Pyburn, and it was over. I'll give Weston Davis this: if he gets those big paws on you, I like Weston Davis if he can get his paws on you. If he doesn't, all hell breaks loose. But they did split. Got his hands on Jack, and it was over, quite honestly. Pyburn wins the second on a dip and rip. Beautiful. I think Pyburn's shown a little bit more than what we saw at Florida, for what it's worth, on some pass rush stuff. I think he's been consistently good there. Pyburn's been getting a lot of run. He's going to be in there on early downs and run situations. So we'll see. But they split. Good. And I've liked some of those things. Pyburn's done some really good things in pass rush. In 11-on-11. Can he pull it into a game? Couple other things that stand out. We didn't go through the entire second team on the practice report, but here's what we saw. Patrick Payton obliterates Ori Williams at right tackle twice. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, if number 6 can put it together, if Patrick Payton can put it all together, guys, he has the ability to be a top 10 pick. Does he care? Does he want it bad enough? Nobody on this planet can want it more than he does. But guys, when he turns it on, he turns it on. He turns it on. So Ori Williams gets beat twice. Brett Bordelon came in as the second team center and won both reps against Ahmad Bro and Zion Williams, and he really got after Zion Williams. Brett Bordelon he's had himself a little bit of a camp. He's not going to play. He's not going to start. Brett Bordelon, I like Brett Bordelon. He's physical. I hope that young man continues to make some plays. I like Brett. I like Brett Bordelon a little bit. He just reminds me of an old school center. Got the body frame, got the tenacity, got some technique. I like Brett Bordelon. Today, really did some good things against Ahmad Bro. Did a good thing against another freshman who's 330 pounds and has 50, 60 pounds on him, and anchored both of them. Really good stuff. All right. Moment of truth. Carius Kern at left guard. I don't think the rep matters at left guard for him in this situation solely for this. He went against Gabe Relaford. He still went up against an edge guy. But they split. Carius Kern has had an interesting camp. He's jumped off sides a couple of times. BK's made him run. By the way, I'm going to keep saying this. BK is not playing around with the dumb shit. Jump off sides, do something goofy. He don't give a shit right now. Make a mental mistake and see what happens. Besides the point, I think Carius Kern is a guard, man. I do. I don't know if DJ Chester and Paul Mabenga in the long term of things are going to be guys that how do I want to say this? I don't know in the long term if Carius Kern is not overall better for your team in the long term than those other guys being at left or right guard. He needs to get his pad level down. He plays way too high. I think they've been trying to protect him a little bit because of how high he plays, but the problem is he's so freaking strong. The thing that I'd say about Carius Kern today being at guard that stood out to me is because you're at guard and you have a shorter drop step other than left tackle when you really got to get out there in space. What I would say for Carius Kern is when you put him in a phone booth, he's going to dominate. He's gonna dominate. Gabe Rutherford in that situation might have been the best for him because the first rep Carius Kern takes his pass set, boom, and I mean startled Gabe Rutherford. He put them hands on him. I felt like the Holy Spirit got knocked out of somebody and then came back in his body, or it looked like in what was that movie with Spider-Man with his body came out and body came back in, mega pause. When he gets his hands on you, there's nobody on this team that's got more violent hands than 57. It's there. When he gets them big ass paws on you, you're screwed. Gabe Rutherford found that out today. Now, you need to see 57 be a little bit more consistent. This is the first real time that we've seen with a first team level guy, Gabe Rutherford, at guard. He needs to get that pad level down because if he goes up against a defensive tackle that's 310, 315 pounds, I'm thinking of Caleb Banks at Florida, and you play that high at guard, Caleb Banks is going to kill your ass as a freshman. He's going to do it. Guys, he did it to everybody he played last year. He's the projected number one defensive tackle in the country for a reason. Can't play that high. Him and Gabe Rutherford split. He wins the first rep, and then, quite honestly, Gabe Rutherford, who I think's had, honest to goodness, one of the biggest leaps. If there's a sophomore on this team that I think has taken the biggest leap right now, it's been Gabe Rutherford. Will Gabe Rutherford get enough playing time to showcase that? I don't know. He's got a lot of guys in that room that he's trying to battle off. But one thing is for certain, Gabe Rutherford hits the hands away, does a little quick spin, or does a couple quick swim, and he got a sack. He did not want them hands touching him again because the last time Carius Kern got his hands on him, the Holy Spirit got knocked out the man. Gabe Rutherford's been really good to me. So I think you have a situation where Kern, who's been pretty consistent at left tackle, I need to see him more at left guard. I thought if there's something from the offensive line today that stood out, him getting those reps were probably the biggest. He splits 1 of 1. He gets 1 of 1. So we'll see. I want to see him more in run game. Can you get this run game going? Will be my question. All right, 7-on-7. First play from Garrett Nussmeier is a drop by Caden Durham. Frank Wilson loses his outright shizite as he tells and yells at Caden that that's the third drop he's had today. Okay, we're in a practice. Okay, I didn't see him drop another one, but check down by Garrett Nussmeier to start off 7-on-7. Was dropped by Caden Durham nevertheless. Out route by Aaron Anderson goes for 16 DJ Pickett on the coverage. Aaron was out wide in a lot of situations and was the second slot guy in a trips right formation. Played a lot of zone, makes a play right in front of DJ Pickett, cuts up a little bit, goes for 16. Really good play by Aaron Anderson, who was back in 7-on-7 today and made some really good catches. Tamarcus Cooley has a pass broken up on Trey'Dez Green on a stick route. Trey'Dez goes about 5 yards, turns around. Garrett's trying to get him the ball. Tamarcus Cooley comes over the top of Trey'Dez Green. Trey'Dez catches it with his hands. He punches the ball out, incomplete. And I thought Blake Baker was going to have a heart attack. Honestly, honest to goodness. I thought that that Blake Baker was going to lose his mind because it was a great play and it was a physical play. So good job there by Tamarcus Cooley. Michael Van Buren comes in and twice calls on the number of Caleb Jackson, one on a check down that goes for 10 yards, not touched until 10 yards. And then next play, a little bit of a broken play, gets it to Caleb Jackson into the flat, who is unguarded, that goes for 14. I like Caleb Jackson a little bit when they've thrown him the ball. I don't really remember a whole bunch of times where they've thrown the ball at 28 where he hadn't caught it. If you remember Caleb Jackson as a freshman, he had a big drop against Ole Miss. Some people blamed him that was the reason we lost the game. You gave up 50 freaking points. That's what lost you the game. Y'all blaming a true freshman on the road for dropping a pass when you scored 49 points and you didn't win. How dare you? And then I remember some of you blamed Chris Hilton for not catching the pass in the back of the end zone. That's the reason we lost the game. No, it's not. You gave up close to 400 yards rushing, you dipshits. No, that's not the reason you lost. However, Caleb has done some really good things in the pass game. They're going to want to throw the ball to the running backs out of the backfield. I'm fully convinced. Until they can figure out something with the run game, I'm fully convinced that they're going to throw the balls to the running backs out of the backfield. With that being said, you got to catch it. Because, guys, I've seen more checkdowns this offseason from Garrett than I've ever seen. Normally, Garrett is rifling that hoe down the field. And he's hit a lot of checkdowns that have really been good plays today for Caleb Jackson. Apparently, there was a period today as well with the second team. After LSU posted this, I asked some questions about Caleb Jackson's long run. From what I'm told, it happened in the period before we were allowed to be out at practice. But Caleb Jackson also burst one to the outside in a pistol formation and gets a touchdown. So good on Caleb Jackson. I hope he can put some of this together, man. I hope he can put some of it together because he's got athletic ability, and God bless it, we need him. So 2 really good catches by Caleb Jackson. Michael Van Buren on a check down to Donovan Green. CJ Jim Coyley in on the tackle for a gain of 3. Last pass with the 2s is a deep drag route to Watkins. Jelani Watkins. If Michael Van Buren hits Jelani Watkins in stride, you're going for 7. DJ Pickett is in the slot, and Jelani Watkins runs a deep drag route and is roasted. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6 steps, not joking around. It is going for 7. Ba, 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 hold that tiger. It's going for 7. Tigers is what we're saying after this play. He's got to hit him in stride. Bottom line. What did Jelani, guys, somebody in the chat tell me, what did Jelani run in the 100-meter again? Was it like a 10-200? Something crazy like that. Of course, he's going to beat DJ on a long drag. Regardless of that, if he hits him in stride, it goes for 7. He doesn't. It gives time for DJ Pickett to get up to him and knock the ball away. Good on DJ Pickett for not giving up and getting to it and knocking it away. However, if he hits him in stride, it's going for a touchdown. So Michael Van Buren's got to know, hey, man, I got one of the fastest, if not the fast. I don't think, look, they've raced. I have arguably the second fastest dude on the team that's on a Jeep drag route. We got to get it to him. DJ Pickett got beat. And for what it's worth, a lot of people are going to get beat with that speed. It is what it is. You got to hit him in stride. I am interested to see if they do something this season. I don't know when it's going to be. Does LSU find a way to get Watkins, Berryon, and Chris on the field at the same time? I mean, guys, it just, quite honestly, again, that is elite level speed. Hey, guys, run as far as you freaking can. Garrett, if one of them gets behind this defense, throw that hoe. Call 1-800, throw that hoe. And legitimately push the ball down the field. I mean, it was a beautiful route by Jelani. The ball's massively underthrown by Michael Van Buren, and a play that should have gone for 7. You got to be there. All right, first unit is back in. Nuss is back in, and Kyle Parker on a quick slant gets dropped. Kyle Parker was not seen from it for the rest of the practice. Guys, you better start catching the ball. That's a couple of times Kyle's dropped the ball, and I'm going to tell you that wide receiver room is too deep and got too many dudes for you to keep dropping passes. It's a quick slant. Catch the ball. I know it's coming in hot, but you got to catch it. It hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. But quick slant is dropped. Xavier Thomas on a quick hit or on a hitch route that's broken up by Mansour Delane. Guys, Mansour Delane's made plays. And honestly, right now is the best corner that you have. It's because of the consistency and always being there. Has Mansour Delane given up some touchdowns this camp? Yep. He gave up a pair of them yesterday. Gave up one to Xavier Thomas yesterday. But you got a quick hitch. He comes up, he punches the ball out, and it's a PBU, man. Really good play by Mansour Delane, who's got a couple of picks this camp too. But a really good play by Mansour. Juwan Johnson on a check down to Garrett Nussmeier goes for 9 Weeks on the stop. West Weeks out. Donovan Keys in. A stick route for Berryon Brown in the slot is broken up and knocked away by Devon Keys. Aaron Anderson on an inside hitch goes for 11 to Marcus Cooley, literally diving on the outside. So ball, quick hitch on the slant, about 9-10 yards. Ball coming in. Cooley trying to knock it away, but ball's placed perfectly by Garrett on the outside shoulder of Aaron Anderson. He's unable to get to it, and Aaron Anderson goes for 11. Deshaun Spears cleans it up, but a really, really good throw. Guys, elite throws is going to be elite coverage. I thought it was really good coverage by TaMarcus Cooley. But nevertheless, just a really, really awesome play by a really, really awesome throw, by Garrett. Guys, again, for what it's worth, and I'm going to stop here because we're about to get into team period. The last 2 days, there have been situations where Garrett in this camp has made some more NFL elite throws than he's ever done. I think that there have been situations in the past in decision-making where Garrett would just go out there and gunsling and throw that pill all over the place, and it's bit him in the ass. Guys, he's checked the ball down more. He's gotten some of these quick routes more. And quite honestly, in some of the short intermediate stuff, which I think 11 yards or 8, 9, 10, 11 yards, whatever it is, the intermediate stuff, the accuracy of ball placement has been pretty elite the last 2 days, if I'm just being blunt. And when he knows, he knows. When he knows what's coming, he's on point. He's made some elite, guys, high-level throws. When I look at Garrett, and even on 7-on-7, and I look at Garrett today, I think of Garrett a year ago when we're in day 10, day 11, and he throws a quick slant to Kyron Lacey where Ashton Stamps jumps in front of it and it gets picked. I think of a situation where Sage Ryan, and we were talking about this last camp, I remember vividly, and we will go pull the practice report if we need to. But there was a situation where Garrett's trying to push the ball down the field into triple coverage. to CJ Daniels, and the ball gets picked off by Sage Ryan, and it goes for 7. Literally. Down the sideline, goes for 7. This camp, he's eliminated those turnovers and made some elite throws. Guys really done some impressive things the last couple of days. Blake gets a quick hitch. I don't give a fuck. What I care about is the high level of accuracy that he's placed some of these passes in the last 2 days. If 13 builds on that, guys, you're cooking with grease. I'm telling you, some elite, high leverage, high throws from number 13. So good on him. All right. We moved to 11-on-11. So they went into the red zone. Ball starting at the 20-yard line. Xavier Thomas. So back-to-back days in the red zone and goal line situations. Let me back up just a hair. In this practice, you're in a situation where it's the first team offense versus the second team defense, just so we're all clear. Then on defense, you got the second team defense versus the first team offense. I mean, the second team defense or first team defense, versus the second team offense. So 1s versus 2, offense, defense, 1s versus 2, defense versus offense, just so we set that up. Xavier Thomas out of the slot is motioned back into the backfield and is given an inside zone run. Ahmad Bro beats the double team between Braylon Moore and DJ Chester and hits Xavier Thomas in the backfield for a negative gain of 1. I would have pleaded with you that if that run would have just gone for 4, hey, you ran on the second team. We got 4 yards in the running game. Good. Guys, Ahmad Bro broke a double team and got into the backfield and got a tackle for loss. At best, let's say it's for no gain. At best. And they don't move the ball. Ball's back on the 20. The ball is on the 21-yard line when they move the ball back. So I gave it negative 1. You got to be able to run the ball. Blake, it's one play. No, I have multiple camps of this. I have multiple days of camp of this. I don't know what to make of it. I legitimately don't. I legitimately don't. But one thing I know is that when you're going up against the second unit, can we get one run? Can we not let a running? Can we not let a? I like Xavier Thomas. Can we line up in the red zone against the second team unit and hand the ball off and go get 7? Can we not do that? We got too cute. Doesn't matter. Tackle for loss, Ahmad Bro in the backfield. Xavier Thomas would make up for it, though, as he runs some form of in route. I don't know if it got broken because Garrett started to get flustered, but regardless, Xavier Thomas on an in route in the back of the end zone. From 20 yards out, bang, touchdown. Xavier Thomas went over a couple of defenders, DJ Pickett included. Let's call it what it is. He went up above DJ Pickett and came down with the football in the end zone. There were referees all day at practice today. Both of them confirmed that he was in the end zone. Xavier Thomas is going to play. I don't know how much. I don't know everything that he's going to do because Xavier Thomas keeps making plays. So if he continues to make these plays, they're going to put him in there. I think for what it's worth, Joe Sloan likes him and wants to do some creative things with him. You keep making plays on 6'3" corners, not 6'5" corner. Let's just be real. You can make plays for me too. I mean, really, really good throw. Guys, Garrett again has just made some elite level throws. Xavier Thomas, I mean, I guess you would have to ask Randy Moss if it would be you got mossed. I don't think it'd be far off. But gliding in the air goes Xavier Thomas, catches it, comes down with it, tutty, bang. We're in there for 7. Guys, Garrett's just made some elite throws the last 2 days. I mean, it's high level shit. It's very high level shit. So take it for what it's worth. But just a really good throw and catch. I think that there has been, in my humble opinion, I would be damn near convinced at this point, DJ Pickett is going to play. And DJ Pickett is going to play a lot this season. I don't know if he starts against Clemson, but I got to be real with you. I don't know if the young man's ready. Okay? I've had multiple first-team wide receivers get to a situation where they've made plays on him in the end zone. I understand that Chris Hilton might be the fastest man in America, legitimately. I've seen fade route upon fade route with DJ not being able to win those reps. And today I got him in the red zone giving up a touchdown on an unbelievable play. I get it. By Xavion. All I am saying with that, before you said Blake's a pessimist, he talks shit too much. All I would say in that is the dude's a freshman. When you put a 5-star label on somebody, the grace goes away. It doesn't go away here. Because I don't expect every player that comes out of high school to start as a 5-star. I just don't. I don't think that's fair. I legitimately don't. I don't know against that wide receiver core in Clemson. I don't know if he is ready for that. Not yet. Guys, for all I know, he will start. That part I don't know. But they went 1s versus 2s. And DJ Pickett was in there. DJ was in there. Along with Ashton Stamps, by the way. Because Ashton Stamps gave up a couple of bombs yesterday. He got pulled for PJ Woodland. Bottom line remains, you can't throw. Get him a couple of reps. Let him do some things against Clemson, yes. And if things get really bad, sure, put him out there. Let him do something. I'm not saying to bench the kid and never play him. What I'm saying is, if we legitimately expect, and which he could do this, is he ready for 65 plays versus Clemson with that wide receiver core? Based off of what we've seen this fall, no, not yet. He's a freshman. He hasn't played a game yet. I will say this. As far as overall talent, that talent blossoming into something, I do not think that there's a more athletic and somebody that will overall be a better DB at LSU in either room better than DJ Pickett. I don't think it exists. He's not ready. And everybody wanting to push that narrative, you're doing him a disservice. If the coaching staff is doing that, if they're leaking that out there to people, if guys go to a practice. Why are you throwing them out there with the 2s? He will be ready in due time. Guys, it could take 2 games and a light bulb clicks and we're off to the races. And sorry to whoever the other far boundary corner on the opposite side of Mansour Delane is. Because quite honestly, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. The athletic ability is there. Go put it all together, young man. So I hope everybody understands what just got said there. He is going to be the most elite DB that you have, even if it's at safety. But the bottom line remains that DJ Pickett, for everything that it's worth, you put him up against arguably what some people believe as Clemson to have a top 2, top 3 wide receiver room in the country. It's a tough ask. It's a very, very tough ask. Let's see if he can do it. Can he get up to snuff and get up to speed? But absolutely perfect catch and throw by those two, Nuss and Xavion Thomas. First team defense versus second team offense. Baryon Brown fade on the far right boundary against PJ Woodland. Boy, I wish everybody had a second team wide receiver with the speed of Baryon Brown. PJ Woodland tried to make a play and kind of got tangled up in it, but he got beat on a fade route on the far right boundary. and committed a PI in the end zone. PJ's had a really good camp. I'm not going to define the 2 PBUs he had yesterday. I'm not going to let him define it when he had 3 on Saturday. I'm not going to let a PI in the end zone, and I get it's in the end zone, but I'm not going to let that define one play on his camp. If he comes back and he continues to do what he's been doing in the past, fine. But Barryon Brown is a nightmare for anybody when he's running a fade route. Really good recognition by Michael Van Buren to get the ball down there, but a PI in the red zone. All right, next play is the Wild Tiger, a.k.a. the Wildcat. Juwan Johnson comes in at quarterback. Michael Van Buren is then shift out as a wide receiver. Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat if you saw the practice report from Saturday. If you're going to run a Wildcat, why in the Rudy Poo hell are why in the hell are you putting a quarterback out wide? I don't understand it. You have 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time. I get Juwan Johnson is a very athletic backup quarterback, but the creativity's got to be better there, in my opinion, if you're going to run a Wildcat. So Wildcat from the 2-yard line. Wind up being a motion from Michael Van Buren. I guess not a lot of guys were lined up on the line of scrimmage. There was a flag on the play after the ball was snapped for an illegal formation. And Harold Perkins comes streaming down from the star position and hits Juwan Johnson in the backfield for a tackle of loss for 3. Perk knew that you ain't throwing the damn football. And until that defense, your own defense, sees Juwan Johnson throw a pass, everybody's coming because they know it's a run. They don't respect it. And I get it's your defense, and they know it's coming. Guys, I promise you right now, so will Clemson. So will Clemson. Clemson's not going to respect Juwan Johnson throwing the football. For all I know, they could get to the 2-yard line against Clemson, and all camp, all we saw was him trying to run the football, and guys absolutely tee off on it. And we get into game 1, and you're on the 2-yard line, and Juwan Johnson comes into the game, and he throws the football on the flat to Caden Durham, and it goes in for a touchdown. My question is why would you do that without Garrett Nussmeier? But that's neither here nor there. Trick them. I don't care. As long as LSU scores points, I don't give a Rudy Poo how they do it against Clemson. I don't care however they score points as long as they do it. Harold Perkins came through the line of scrimmage untouched and uncorked some holy hell on Juwan Johnson. Guys, he almost flipped him. Seriously, not joking. Harold Perkins has been on one. That's a whole different story. But it goes nowhere. It went nowhere on Saturday. It went nowhere today. So that's the first rendition of them trying to do it. Michael Van Buren back at quarterback. A quick slant to Trey'Dez Green. I gave it a PBU for Deshaun Spears, mainly because he punched through Trey'Dez Green's hands, and he got the ball away and either a drop or a PBU regardless, but he's all over him in coverage, and he knocks the ball away from the 2-yard line. So, or now the 7-yard line, I guess, because of the illegal formation. So he knocks it away. Wild Tiger again, this time Caleb Jackson is at quarterback. He misses the snap. He boots the ball around. Mansour to lane, picks it up and goes for 7. Scooped and scored. Brian Kelly lost his godforsaken mind on the offensive staff. I think you can put together what he was talking here. What are we doing? What are we doing? The first run play that we have is a motion in the backfield, and in that motion to the backfield, you're giving a wide receiver the football. The next 2 runs, you're going at a Wildcat. If this team a year ago would have averaged 150, hell, if they would have averaged 110 yards a game rushing last year, I could think you could make some form of argument that you can get cute in practice. But guys, listen, there are a couple of things I want to mention. Number one, I've never run a practice. Number two, I've never called plays in my life. Number three, I am not, when I say this, I am not trying to act like I know more football because Brian Kelly has forgot more about football than I will ever know. Joe Sloan as well. I just have a hard time, a very hard time for me, even though you're with the second unit. Even though you're with that second unit, I have a hard time understanding what you're trying to do. The reason I have a hard time trying to understand what you want to do, because Caleb Jackson needs reps. Caleb Jackson needs as the most reps that he can get, and he doesn't need them. He doesn't need them from the Wildcat formation. Go under center, go in shotgun, do whatever in the hell that you want to do. But can we run the football consistently enough out of the formation that we need to normally be in? I don't know. You tried this Wildcat once on Saturday. You tried it again today. I'm not running it until you can start gaining a yard. Guys, it's been obliterated. There has been some sentiment from local media, and y'all know who I'm talking about, that they want to see Juwan Johnson take snaps at quarterback and do some things in the running game. I told you when this move happened, and I will tell you again now, you can't run the football in a normal fashion. They know you're going to run the ball. This isn't Taysom Hill level shit yet. And here's the problem with Taysom Hill and the Taysom Hill argument. Sean Payton would let 7 uncork the holy hell out of things. You got to run the football first before we do something like that. I know you're trying different things. I know that it's practice. But don't look at me when your head coach is going absolutely crazy on how things are being performed. Run the ball. If you can't line up and get 2 yards from a basic dive play, then we got other questions that we need to talk about. We have other questions that we need to get to. I just think it's absolutely dumb. Personally, I don't know more about football than those coaches. But the bottom line remains, I don't understand it. The video that LSU posted today is a 45-plus yard run from Caleb Jackson when he finally found the crease and he doesn't get touched. Can we start getting him in the goal line situation and go through reps at practice where he can put his head down and go get 2 yards and say, go fuck yourself. I'm going to run this guy over, and I'm going in for 7. Can we do that? Can we remotely do that is the question. So I don't get it. All right. They flipped it around. LSU's offense was backed up into their own goal line. They started off around the 5-yard line, had to get out of the red zone. Kane Durham on a run for 2 yards. Ahmad Bro and Devon Keys on the stop. Guys, I get you're pinned up in the goal line. I get it. You got to get more cushion and you got to get more push than 2 yards. You do. You do. I get you're in a short side of the field. I get everybody knows you're running the football. Who gives a shit? Guys, I need to see this running game pick up more than what it has. This is a second-team unit. Ahmad Bro is not TJ Parker. God bless him. And Ahmad Bro is not Peter Woods. You get in those situations, those guys might get in the backfield and wreck your shit. So you need to be able to run the football more than 2 yards. It's number one. Weston Davis with a false start, taken out of the drill and was starting to run. Here's an interesting part of this. Weston Davis out, or Ari Williams in. So that's a big thing there. After the false start, a hitch route by Aaron Anderson that goes for 3 yards. Ashton Stamps comes in on the tackle after 3. And then Aaron Anderson on an out route and a pass broken away by Ashton Stamps again. 3 and out. Can't have a false start. Need more cushion. And you just had a really good play. You try to get the ball to Aaron Anderson, didn't work. You got to get more yards. And you can't jump off sides. Just clunky, man. 1 step forward, massive step back. 1 step forward, one massive step forward, 1 step back. Let me put it that way. Good gracious alive. First defense versus second offense. Backed up against the goal line was the offense. Juwan Johnson, inside dive from the running back position. Whit Weeks meets him in the hole for no gain. Michael Van Buren on a broken play goes on a scramble for 7 yards. Really good run by Michael Van Buren. I don't care who you are. If you're a quarterback that can run and you can pick him up and put him down a little bit, it's really difficult for the defense to stop. It just really is. But basically, I felt like made one read, and maybe it was even a draw for what it's worth. He made one read, and that one read was not open, and he got the hell up out of there. Good play by Michael Van Buren to get out of there and get some yardage. Donovan Green, on a quick hitch on the outside goes for 4, first down for the second team offense. How about that? We're moving the ball a little bit. Wes Weeks meets Juwan Johnson in the hole and an inside zone run for no gain. Wist and Wet Weeks both making plays from the linebacker position. Michael Van Buren on a counter quarterback run that goes for 6 yards. Really good play. Really, really good play. The question I would ask is Michael Van Buren. I don't think Michael Van Buren is the same level of athlete as Juwan Johnson, but he's a better overall thrower. If you're going to run the ball with Michael Van Buren and pick up yards against your first-team defense, who, quite honestly, the first-team offense has not been able to move the ball enough consistently on, why not let him be your wildcat quarterback? Just a thought. Just a thought. Just throwing that out there. Just a thought. But another really good run by Michael Van Buren goes for 6. Trey'Dez Green in the flat at the first down marker. The ball is dropped, and we punt. Overall, in 11-11, this is what I'd say. Outside of the really massive play by Xavier Thomas and the elite throw by Garrett, and other than the PI in the end zone, it started to feel like early that the offense was about to have another one of those days, and you're like, yes, okay, we got some back and forth punches thrown here. We got some things moving. After that, all shit broke to hell. All shit broke to hell. So, I don't know. Defense wins the day again, man. They win the day again. So it is what it is. I thought Garrett made some really good throws, though, for what it's worth. All right. Eric Johnson became a new member on YouTube. Thank you, Eric. I greatly appreciate it. He says, oh, yeah, had to become a member. Thank you, Eric. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, those videos will be out when we're posting videos. Will be out about an hour earlier than for your counterparts. We'll post some other member content. Once we get to like 10, 15, 20 people in there, we might do some members-only content in there. So thank you for becoming a member. We greatly appreciate you doing that. Bro, 337, bro, I missed your super chat from last week. Tell me what it was again. I missed it. He says, does Xavier Thomas play any running back? He did today. I mean, lining up in the backfield and being a running back? No. What they've been doing with him is motioning him back in the backfield or doing some quick pop passes with him. Some other really interesting things. Other than that, no, not out of the just pure running back position. No. Broad 337 says, how close is DJ to Sting as a freshman? Right now, I think Derek Stingley is a little bit ahead of where he would be. Yeah. I think when Derek Stingley got on campus, you just knew he was going to start, and they prepared him to start. They didn't pull punches. They didn't wait to throw him out there. I mean, guys, the first rep that Derek Stingley ever took was a fade. Y'all know this. Y'all have seen the video. The first route that he ever took with an LSU helmet on was a fade route against Jamar Chase that he knocked away. And then Burrow tells the story that as soon as he had a PBU, I went back at him again, and he almost got another one. I think Stingley is ahead of him of where he was. Again, today, you just got to be in a situation where he ran with the twos. Does he find a way through camp to be that starter? Do I think he's going to play a lot in game one? Shit, if he doesn't even start, yeah, I think he's going to play. I think Stingley's ahead of him, though. I think he's ahead of him. All right. Let's do this. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, I got 10 observations and opinions. I might not get to all of them, but we're going to get to some. Let's get to a break, and we'll talk about those next. Everyone do us a favor and hit the like and share. We greatly appreciate all of y'all doing that. Something is massively up with my computer. Who knows? All right, let me get to a quick break. We'll come back. Observations, opinions next. Stay with us. Hey, Southwest Louisiana. Are you ready to gear up for your next outdoor adventure or tackle that next big job on the farm? Then head on over to Henderson Tractors, Boats, and Power Sports. At Henderson and Lake Charles, they've got everything you need under one massive 30,000 square foot indoor showroom. Kubota tractors and mowers to power through the toughest tasks. Polaris off-road bikes and side-by-sides to conquer any trail. And tracker boats with brands like Ranger, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Regency pontoons for a day out on the water. Whether you're a farmer or a hunter or just someone who loves the great outdoors, Henderson has what you need to get the job done and have fun while doing it. Browse their new and used inventory over at their website, hendersonimplement.com. That's hendersonimplement.com. Or give them a call today at 337-436-4366. That's 337-436-4366. Or go see them over in Lake Charles on the corner of East McNee Street and Highway 14. Remember, if you need a tractor, go to Henderson. Need a boat, go to Henderson. Or if you need an ATV or side-by-side, you know where to go. Henderson. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by.
We're back.
All right. Might be having David Pollock on the show here soon. Just got a very interesting text. So look out for that. David Pollock on the show would be absolutely awesome. Love David and love everything he's about. Now, I have buttoned my I think I've buttoned my microphone cord into my shirt. All right. You're not here to hear about all my quarrels. You're here to talk about my observations and opinions. The biggest thing in coming out of day 11 for me and kind of looking at this observation and opinion more in a holistic nature than a one game or one practice sample size. What we've done in these observations and opinions is I've taken the day, things that stand out to me, things that kind of did not go our way in some areas, and then we go from there. And then we chuck on to the next day, and we chuck on to the next day. Well, today what you and I are going to do is we're going to go through a lot of these different things. The first place that we need to start off is the offensive running game. Guys, the biggest offseason thing I feel like for you, for this offense going into 2025, had to be about what you did in the run game. I think that there are a couple of things you could have talked about. You could have talked about maybe we need some depth at receiver. Maybe, we need to figure out some ways and get with Garrett and go through the film and break and turn down those turnovers. But the number one thing had to be, how do we fix this run game? Now, you went out in the portal and you got an offensive center from Virginia Tech. You went out there and got Josh Thompson to play right guard for you. And quite honestly, I was expecting, hey, can we take a step forward in the run game? You were 108th in the country last year. You don't need me to run all through that. What you also don't need me to do is talk about the 4 games that you lost last season when you went through USC, A&M, Bama, and Florida, and even had to go into overtime versus Ole Miss. Even in all 5 of those games, you didn't crack 100 yards rushing per average. Actually, what you did was, in the 4 losses that you had a season ago, out of 133 teams that play Division I football, in those games, in those situations, against ranked opponents, you are 128th in the country out of 133 teams in rushing. No, I don't think that there was a bigger thing that you could talk about. Maybe you could have talked about the red zone. And, hey, Blake, we're so horrible there. If we don't score points, nothing matters. You're right. Yards don't mean shit. Yards are a byproduct of how many points normally you score. Yards mean nothing when you can't score. Go back and watch the Florida game from a season ago. I'm not sure why they keep trying to do this run game with the Wildcat. I don't get it. Because maybe that's something that they're just showing us. For all I know, I don't know what I don't know. I should just say that. But one thing for sure that I know is simple. You better figure something out in the run game, and you better figure it out quick. You're not going to go anywhere if you don't have it. Now, can this offensive line continue to be better by the time that you get to Clemson? Can you go into Clemson, South Carolina, and run the football? Guys, excuse me. I hope that the entire season we are able to run the football, and we look back at fall camp and say, you know what, man? Maybe for whatever reason, even though I don't think inside zone is something very complicated, maybe it did take them time. Maybe there was something going on. Maybe, who knows? But the bottom line is right now it has been a weak point. It was a weak point from you post Jane Daniels a season ago. It's a weak point for you in fall camp. You better figure it out, because I got 10 observations and opinions here, and 3 of them have everything to do about the running game. Do you need to move Carius Kern into guard? Do you need to move Paul Mabing into guard? Do you need to figure something out? Do you need to try Tyree Adams at a guard and then try to move somebody at tackle? Shit, I don't know. One thing I know is that when you're trying to run inside zone and inside basic dive play, You're not going anywhere. Not consistently, you're not. There have been some explosive plays. And quite honestly, as I'm hitting 1, 2, and 3. So first 3 observations and opinions are right out of the gate. You need Caden Durham and Caleb Jackson to go off. Caleb Jackson a year ago had 753 rushing yards and 260 receiving yards. Guys, he had 1,000 total yards from scrimmage a season ago with 8 touchdowns. Can he take that rushing game up to 900, to 1,000, to 1,100? Can he take that receiving game up to 350, 400, 450? Can he crack that double-digit touchdown number that we desperately need him to have? Because if you do, and quite honestly, even if you're just throwing the ball out of the backfield, I consider that an extension of your run game, even if you're doing that. Now, you got to catch the ball. He had a bit of the dropsies today. But regardless of that, there are 3 things that you need to figure out on your run game. Is this the best offensive line unit? How do we generate push in the interior? What do we do there? It seems to me right now, this Wildcat formation, guys, I would beg to bet right now, maybe FanDuel can do a special odds for us, that you're going to come out of Saturday's scrimmage and they're going to lock that thing down. And you're going to have some people there, and they're going to be like, oh, Juwan Johnson scored from the Wildcat formation. It's coming. It's coming. But, guys, when we're there, it's not been working. So either they got to cut this or they better figure it out quickly. Maybe they're using our practice periods because they know Clemson people are watching us, and they're like, we better prepare for the Wildcat. We better prepare for the Wildcat. Maybe it is. I don't know. What I do know is that Caden Durham's got to be big for you. God bless it, he doesn't get hurt. Caleb Jackson's got to step up. Harlan Berry's got to step up. But, guys, your run game has not been great right now, and that's just a bona fide fact. The 4th thing about this offensive team that I would point out is, guys, that I have a quarterback right now in Garrett Nussmeier that I think is making some high-level elite NFL throws. I think he's making some high elite NFL decisions. But his offense continues to go 3 and out. I for the life of me, I just can't. You can't run the ball to help him. I don't think that play calling that we've seen has given him a lot of beneficiary stuff to move the sticks. What I do know is that when he's given time, guys, I think that Garrett's had a really phenomenal camp. The turnovers, again, are way down. I do feel like we were in about double-digit interceptions this time last year. I have not seen that. Those have come down. And I think the biggest thing that you worked on, another big thing that you worked on, which should have been the running game in the red zone, is reducing Garrett's turnovers. And I think he's been a really good decision maker. You go out there Saturday night versus Clemson, can you translate that? Because some of the boneheaded decisions, and he literally went out at SEC Medias and said this, some of the boneheaded decisions I made put my team in too much of a catastrophic situation, and we can't have those. No, because you keep having them, A&M happens. But for what it's worth, I think he's made some high-level elite throws under pressure, and he's made some really, really good decisions. Keep stacking days like that, man. He's going to look really good. All right, a couple more of these before we get out of here. Guys, I think the safety room has been we talk about the running game, but even in talking about the running game offensively, one thing that has prevented Caleb Durham, Caleb Jackson, Harlan Berry, Juwan Johnson from breaking some of these long runs is that number 7 in Harold Perkins, number 13 in A.J. Halsey, and either Tamarcus Cooley or Deshaun Spears from that safety position, guys, they've come down and stopped the run. It's not like Caleb Jackson's easy to tackle. It's not like Caden Durham's easy to tackle. When there's been some gains here, 3 and 4, AJ Halsey going to be up in there. He's going to be up in there. Just think, I feel like the decision for me right now is, God, I feel like you're so much better at safety. One of the media members today said it made him happy to see that for he was moaning. I'll just put it like that. Safety room's a lot more talented, and I think they're going to make a lot more plays for you. Gives you a lot of courage. The interior defensive line. We got maybe one more. How about this? We'll just go with the entire defensive line. I think that you've been very solid there. They're deep and they keep making plays, man, over and over and over again against this team. I mean, guys, it has been crazy, to be real with you. This defense has had a better camp than they did in year one under Blake Baker. That's for damn sure. Maybe not as many turnovers because Garrett's eliminating those turnovers. But man, they've just been good. I think corner outside of Mansour Delane, guys, it is an outright battle right now. And we'll see who wins that other boundary position. They've thrown Stamps out there. I think Stamps has done some good things like he did today. They've put P.J. Woodland like they did out there today. And Blake Baker said as much as in reference to, listen, we're going to give these guys opportunities, and we're going to see how things play out. You got some depth there. Jakeem Jackson, is out right now and not really practicing much. So can one of these guys step up? That will be the ultimate question. All in all, in observations and opinions, let's get to the final point here. The final point that I would make is, through 11 days, is this. I think defensively, you might just actually be that much better. I hope that we're not in a situation where, like we were a year ago, hey, man, this offensive line is pushing this defense around. You're running the ball at a high level, and on we go, and we get in the season. It's the worst thing that you did. I don't think we're doing that defensively because, quite honestly, guys, they will come up and knock your block off. I don't think Caden Durham stinks. I don't think that Garrett Nussmeier stinks. I don't think these receivers stink. I think you've had some issues along your offensive line, and even when you've broken through, some of the play that you've gotten from safety, like, guys, as of right now, based off what we've seen the last 2 days, Jordan Gilbert gets moved down to that star role behind Harold Perkins, and they're telling him, listen, buddy, you're not going to play unless you move to star. You're just not going to, because Deshaun Spears, AJ Halsey, Tamarcus Cooley have made that high level of an impact. They've made that high level of an impact. And what I would say here is, defensively, you have done some very, very, very good things. What I am hopeful, I don't know if this is going to happen. What I am hopeful for is that you get out there on Saturday versus Clemson and it turns to pass against an offense, guys, that quite honestly, I think is better than yours. I think right now, and based off of going into the preseason, they might be better than yours. You just got to get to a spot where, man, defense might have to carry you the first couple of weeks until you figure some things out along this offense. If what fall camp comes to pass, if that is what comes to pass, great. And if you can win those games, great. And Garrett's going to just have to continue to make some absolutely nuclear throws that just quite honestly put you in the position to win. I hope that you're just facing a really good defense every day. It's my hope. And I would like for it to be more back and forth, but maybe you just are going up against a very strong unit. Right now, I would say that I don't think this camp has been bad at all. What I think this camp has been is you being in a situation where, man, you're just around more athletes than you're normally used to defensively. So we will see. But guys like Patrick Payton might be your second defensive end. He might be on the second team like he was again today, and they bring him in on pass rush situations and like, hey, man, you're not defending great against the run. And until you give more effort, you're not going to. We'll see. But they got a lot of dudes. And if that comes to pass, and then offensively you are better than what we're thinking, and you can run the football, and all of those things, we're going to look back and say, well, man, you know what? They just went up against a damn good defense. And every day going up against a really, really, really good defense, it sharpened iron, and iron continued to sharpen iron, and off to the races you go. But there are a couple tiers here that's like, oh, man, I mean, can we move the ball? Can we move the ball? And we'll see. We'll see. All right. I see this from Brandon Reese. Busted coverages have been weakness at safety for the last few years. Shit. Everything's been a weakness. Everything's been a weakness. So we'll see. See y'all again tomorrow, brothers and sisters in Christ. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.